Hello everybody, my name is Sam and welcome back to English Sponge. Today we are going to be doing part 2 of my series playing the game Geoguessr. Today we are going to be playing the game Geoguessr. I got some really nice feedback from you guys on the last video, so I thought that we would make a part 2 and maybe even a part 3. If you guys are ready for the start of the video, then let's get into it. Okay, so we are in quite a tropical location. Seems quite a hot place. There's lots of trees, quite a lot of trees. It seems quite dry though. If you look at the ground, it seems very dry. There's English speaking. It says emergency duty, cable fault locating system. This is definitely India. I definitely get the feeling that this is India. We have a man on a motorbike here with a helmet. Good thing. Always wear a helmet if you're riding motorbikes. And a little tuk-tuk. We call these tuk-tuks, and they're very, very, very common in Asia or India. Yep. The emergency duty. This is a weird orange color. I don't like this color of the cabin. This part of a truck, we call it the cabin. See his steering wheel there? Yeah. Cool. So, like I said, very green, but also quite dry. So I get the feeling that we're in northern India, maybe around the New Delhi area. When I'm guessing India, I usually guess New Delhi because it's one of the biggest cities and there's always going to be, lots of streets on there. There's my guess, and yep, just 6.2 miles away. This is, in fact, New Delhi. I guessed right in the center, whereas it was a little bit further south, closer to the southeast. I didn't want to do that. Nice. 4,967 points. That's a really good start to the round. So, moving in to number 2. I just dropped my mate everywhere. I'm going to finish recording the video and deal with that afterwards. The greatest pain of living in Argentina, dropping your mate. Okay, number 2. Now this is very European. This feels very, very European to me. With these bungalows and these sorts of signs. I can't quite make out what these signs say. They're a bit blurry. They're a little bit too far away. We're somewhere in Europe, in quite a rural area. See this? It looks kind of like a farm. So we're in quite a rural area. The architecture on this house is very cool. I like this triangle shape that they have. They have one here, and another small triangle here. I really like that. Very unique type of house. And what is this in the background? This right here. I think it might be a water silo, or maybe a grain storage unit, a grain silo. Something to do with farming. And this looks like a big crane. Interesting, but not the most helpful. We have some sort of trees in the background, some hills, and yeah. This is quite a tricky one. It's definitely not easy. I don't think it's Britain. I don't see lots of architecture on houses like this in Britain. They'd be a lot older, I think. But I do feel like we're somewhere in Western Europe. Between Belgium and France is my sort of feeling. I am going to go with Belgium. Somewhere in the Belgium countryside. Let's go here. Random guess. Let's see how I do. Okay, it was France. We were in the western part of France, near Brest and Quimper. I've probably pronounced those very badly. I knew it was a 50-50 with my sort of guess, and unfortunately I guessed wrong. But I'm still happy that I narrowed it down to the correct two countries. Okay, number 3. And once again, we have another place with quite a lot of evidence. There's lots of things that we can use here to try and help us make our guess. My initial feelings is this could be Argentina, but I don't recognize this blue sign. I've never seen a blue sign like this in Argentina. It is very flat, however, and where is the sun? I don't see the sun, so that can't help us. The cars are all quite old. They don't seem to be particularly modern, and they're all quite dirty as well. Look at this. This car is filthy. Really, really dirty. Then we have a stop sign. Fortunately, that doesn't help us because stop signs tend to be in English. There's a lot of rubbish left on the side of the street. That's quite upsetting to see. Unfortunately, we do see a lot of that here in Argentina. So let me have a look at the building. I don't see lots of brick buildings like this in Argentina. So I'm not convinced that this is South America. I may be wrong, but I'm getting more of a feeling that we might be in Russia or maybe somewhere in Eastern Europe. And there's a sign here with some numbers and maybe some words, but I can't read it. It's way too small. Some green roofs. Okay, this one's definitely tough. I think I'm going to go with Russia. My main guess is going to be Russia and maybe Moscow. Maybe somewhere in the suburbs of Moscow. Here, for example. I'm not super convinced with this one, but let's see how I do. Ooh. So, I got the country right, which is the good thing. Unfortunately, when you get Russia correct, it often doesn't mean you get lots of points because I was still over 700 miles away. We were in South Russia. 2,100 points, it's not the worst, but it's definitely not the best. I'm quite happy though that I got the country correct at least. So yeah, let's move on to number 4, the penultimate location. Very European immediately. There's a big statue here. Big statue. And we have a flag, which is always helpful. Ooh. We have a flag, which is very helpful. We have the red, white, and green of Italy. I believe we are in Italy. And if we look at these cars, that's very new, very shiny car. More quite new cars. Very green, which means it's probably quite hot, but it does also rain a bit. And there seems to be an abandoned building. Doesn't look like anyone uses this building anymore. Yeah, there's not lots else to go on. Centro. Yep, I do think we're in Italy. Centro, that looks like a Romance spelling of the word center. Cool, okay. I am just about ready to lock in Italy. I think this was quite an easy one. The real question, however, is where in Italy? Now, I have travelled to Italy a little bit, around the coast, the Amalfi Coast, that is, and then Venice, and it doesn't remind me of either of those places. So I am going to guess the north of Italy, around here. I don't know if I'm going to be right, but let's see. And I was pretty close again. 65 miles away, 4,600 points. Yeah, not bad. That was not a bad guess. We are in Modena, which I feel like I've heard that name before. I feel like it might be quite a famous little town. But yeah, I'm really happy with that one. I think we did a really good job. So let's move on to the fifth and the final round of Geoguessr. Please be good. Okay. Tricky, for sure. Yeah. We've had quite a few good ones so far, so this one had to be tough. Bella Luna, Italian restaurant, and brick oven pizza. Okay. I do think we're in America. I think we are in the United States of America. I immediately get that feeling, and I've just read something that confirms it for me. Guns and ammo. We're in the United States of America, unsurprisingly. There are not many other countries where you can just walk into a shop and buy a gun. There are, yeah, Italian restaurant and then G's Shooting Sports. So yeah, if you want a pizza and then an automatic firearm straight after, this place has you covered, I guess. Yeah, we have these nice big recycling bins, clothing recycling bins. You can put your old clothes in to make sure they don't go to landfill, so they're not wasted. Yeah, this green sign, Tut Hill Road. These green signs are quite common in America. We do see quite a lot of them. So I'm very sure that we are in the United States. You can see we're driving on the right-hand side of the road. But I'm not exactly sure where. It is very green, which suggests, not 100% sure, that we're on the east side of America. And I just have a feeling, there's not much evidence to support this feeling. I have a feeling we're around here. New York, New Hampshire, Maryland, one of those sort of states. So I'm going to hedge my bets and put us somewhere in Pennsylvania. I might be wrong. I might lose some points because of this, but that's the feeling I have. So I'm going to go for it. I'm quite good at this game. Yeah. We were not far outside of New York. I was about 172 miles away, which netted me over 4,000 points. So let's see how I did overall. Nice. Okay. 19,162 points, which I'm really, really happy about. As you can see here, my record is 20,000 points. So we're getting closer and closer to beating the record. Thank you everybody for watching this video. I really, really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to leave a like, comment down below as well how you did. If you thought this was a bit of an easy round, maybe it was a bit more difficult than the last one, let me know. As always, subscribe to English Sponge, and I will See you all in the next video. Goodbye.
If you want more videos like this, go to EnglishSponge.com. On the website, you can find videos from many different teachers. You can choose which level you want: A1 beginner, A2 beginner, B1 intermediate, or B2 upper intermediate. You can choose which accent you want to listen to: American, British, Australian, and also other accents. You can choose which topic you want to listen to, and you can choose which grammar point you want to focus on. The website will track your time, so you can see how many minutes you have listened to comprehensible input today, yesterday, and for the whole month. So go to EnglishSponge.com. The link is in the description of the video.